He never lost. Not once in 16 professional fights. Then, in the middle of his biggest test yet, the referee told him something no fighter should ever have to hear. "You take care of it." Those words came from the one man whose job was to protect him. What followed would not just end a career, it would trap a champion inside his own body for over a decade, until one message finally reached the outside world, typed letter by letter, using nothing but his eyes. This is the story of Prichard Colón. But to understand what he lost, you first have to understand who he was before that night. He was born in Maitland, Florida, the son of a boxing trainer named Prichard Colón and a waitress named Nieves Melendez. His father put gloves on him at age 8. 2 years later, Prichard made a decision that would define his son's identity forever. He moved with young Prichard and his little sister to a rural town in Puerto Rico, so the boy could fight under the island's flag. His mother and older brother stayed behind in Florida. It was a sacrifice most 10-year-olds never have to make, and Prichard made it willingly. In Puerto Rico, they called him Dig It, a nickname born from his energy and his height. He trained relentlessly, won 5 national amateur titles, and captured gold at the Pan American Youth Championship. He studied business administration in college, a rarity for a fighter, proof he wanted a life beyond the ring. When he turned professional, he was electric. 16 fights, 16 wins, 13 by knockout. Promoters called him a future world champion. Puerto Rico believed it too. By October of 2015, at 23 years old, Prichard Colón was undefeated, beloved, and closing in on his destiny. He had no idea that his next fight would become the last one he would ever remember standing up for. The fight was set for the Eagle Bank Arena in Fairfax, Virginia. His opponent, Terrell Williams, was undefeated too. Both men needed this win. Neither man knew how permanently the night would change them. Early on, Williams began landing blows to the back of Colón's head, illegal strikes known as rabbit punches. Colón complained to the referee, Joseph Cooper. Cooper's response was dismissive. "You take care of it." Frustrated and unprotected, Colón retaliated with a low blow. Cooper stopped the fight, deducted 2 points, and let it continue. Then came round 7. A rabbit punch dropped Colón to the canvas. He rose slowly, holding the back of his head, and told the ringside doctor he felt dizzy and in pain. The doctor examined him and cleared him to keep fighting. By round 9, Colón was disoriented. Williams knocked him down twice more. When the round ended, his corner believed the fight was over. In their haste to help him, they began pulling off his gloves. But it wasn't over. Colón never answered the bell for round 10. He was disqualified, not for losing, but for the very mistake his own team made trying to save him. It was his mother, Nieves, who helped remove those gloves. An instinct to protect her son ended his career seconds before something far worse began. Because the damage inside his skull had already been done, and it was about to announce itself. Nieves helped her son back to the dressing room. He complained of dizziness. Then he vomited and collapsed, unconscious. Paramedics rushed him to Innova Fairfax Hospital. Doctors found a subdural hematoma, bleeding pressed against the left side of his brain, pushing it dangerously out of place. Surgeons performed an emergency hemicraniectomy, removing part of his skull to relieve the pressure and stop the bleeding. He slipped into a coma. It lasted 221 days. When Prichard finally woke, the young man who once moved with the speed and confidence of a champion could not walk, could not feed himself, and could not speak. Doctors diagnosed him as being in a persistent vegetative state. The undefeated fighter from Orocovis was gone. In his place was a young man who would need to relearn how to simply exist. His family refused to let that be the end of the story. What came next was not a comeback measured in wins and knockouts, but something far harder to watch and far harder to sustain. In May of 2016, after months at Atlanta's Shepherd Center, Prichard was brought home to his mother's house in Orlando. Knives and Richard became his full-time caregivers, feeding him, bathing him, and sitting through years of physical therapy for the smallest signs of progress. Slowly, painstakingly, Prichard regained minimal motor function. Eventually, he learned to communicate using eye-tracking software, spelling out thoughts one glance at a time. Through it, the world heard from him directly. "Where are my supporters?" he said. "They never give up on me." The fighter's spirit had survived, even where his body had not. In 2017, his parents filed a lawsuit seeking more than $50 million, arguing the ringside doctor had failed him by letting the fight continue after round 7. The promoters were later dismissed from the case. As of recent years, the lawsuit against the doctor still had not gone to trial. For Prichard's parents, justice moved slower than grief, and far slower than the decade they spent caring for their son. But the man who threw those final punches was carrying his own weight from that night, one the world rarely stopped to consider. Terrell Williams left the arena that night with his undefeated record intact, but he did not walk away unscathed. He stepped away from boxing for 2 years, unable to shake what had happened. When he finally spoke publicly in 2018, his words revealed a man haunted, not triumphant. "I pray for Prichard every single day," he said. "I didn't want that to happen to him. I was just trying to win a fight. My life changed that night, and it will never be the same." Investigators looked into Williams, referee Joseph Cooper, and the ringside doctor. They cleared Williams and Cooper of any wrongdoing. Neither man was named in the lawsuit. Williams returned to boxing briefly before retiring for good in 2019, his career forever defined by a fight he won and could never escape. Boxing itself was forced to change. The World Boxing Council introduced a strict, zero-tolerance policy against rabbit punches, now known as the Prichard Colón rule. Referees must warn fighters beforehand and stop the action immediately at the first violation. A young man who could no longer speak had rewritten the rulebook meant to protect the next generation of fighters like him. For 11 years, Prichard Colón kept fighting, not in an arena, but in a wheelchair, through therapy sessions, through the quiet devotion of his parents. His body never recovered, but his one lasting wish never changed either: to return, one final time, to the island he had crossed an ocean for as a 10-year-old boy. His father tried. In his final days, Richard did everything he could to make that trip happen. It never did. On August 13, 2026, Prichard Colón died in Orlando, Florida. He was 33 years old. His father shared the news himself. "I regret to inform you of the passing of my son Prichard from this earthly world," he wrote. "Now, he is in a better world. Thank you for so many years of love and prayers." Tributes followed from across the sport. The World Boxing Organization called his life a testament to resilience and the unwavering love of his family. The World Boxing Council remembered him as a true warrior whose strength, courage, and fighting spirit inspired people around the world. He never got to stand on Puerto Rican soil one last time. But in every ring where a referee now stops a fight, the instant an illegal blow lands, in every fighter, protected by a rule bearing his name, Prichard Colón is still there. The boy who crossed an ocean for his colors never stopped fighting for others, even after he could no longer fight for himself. Thanks for watching. What story should we cover next? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.